Ever since I started writing as my primary source of income, people ask me how I got into it and how they can too. In this video, I will take you through everything you need to know about becoming a freelance writer. Let's talk about building up your writing skills. Before you do anything else, you're going to need to build up your writing skills. This should be fairly obvious, but you're not going to have a lot of success as a freelance writer if you can't actually write. This is the most essential piece of advice, but it's also the piece of advice that I feel the most awkward talking about when people in my life ask me about how to get into writing. It feels rude to respond with, well, do you know how to write? So how can you become a better writer? Well, there's education and training. For me, being a writer was one of my lifelong dreams. When I went to university, I got an English degree. So that's my story of how I got my education. But everyone is different, and the truth is you do not need a degree to be a writer. Also, you can get a degree in English or specifically in writing and still be a bad writer. Trust me, I saw many of my classmates push through the program whose writing was always painful to edit, even in the end. However, a simple writing course can be a huge help to beginners. If you want some writing training under your belt but don't want to enroll in university, consider some of these options. Find an online course. There are websites where you can take college-level writing courses completely for free. Watch YouTube videos on writing. A good thing to search for is specifically the type of writing you want to do. For example, there are tons of great YouTube videos out there teaching you the basics of copywriting, which is a super common freelance niche. Read a book on writing. There are so many options out there. The Essential Guide to Freelance Writing and Starting Your Career as a Freelance Writer are a couple of books you could start with. Number 2, write a lot. Even as a kid, I did NaNoWriMo each year, which is a writing endurance challenge where you attempt to write a 50,000 word novel in a month. It comes out to be around 1,667 words a day, and I did this for fun. Even when I was in university and reading 2 books a week and writing an academic paper every week. This is the most common advice writers give for how to become a writer, and for good reason. Without practice, you can't improve. But practice alone is not enough. You need to practice the type of writing that you are going to be doing. Fiction writing is different from academic writing, which is different from product copywriting. Our recommendation, join a writing challenge. Even just Googling writing challenge can lead you to so many opportunities to push yourself further in your writing skills. Number 3, get feedback. In addition to practicing the type of writing you want to work in, you're going to need to find people to give you feedback. There are a couple of ways of getting feedback. Here's some suggestions. One common way to get feedback is to join a writing group. You can find writing groups online. Again, you're going to want to find a writing group for the type of writing you want to do. There is a multitude of writing groups for fiction writers, but most paid writing is not in fiction. Consider making your own writing group if you can't find anything in your niche. Make a group on Facebook or another common platform for copywriter feedback or fitness article feedback. Then go into the types of spaces where these writers might be and tell people about your group. Creating a niche writing group can push you to develop your skills even further in your specific niche. For example, if you wanted to specialize in health writing, you might go to the groups of health experts or health enthusiasts to see if there are any people who have also been thinking about writing in that niche. By creating a community, you can grow together. A note on writing groups: keep in mind that the quality of the feedback does matter. If you get feedback from a bad writer, it could very well push you in the wrong direction and make your work worse. This brings me to my next piece of advice: getting a staff job. It might seem counterintuitive, but it's true. This can be a great way to get training and maybe get paid for it. If you don't have the experience already, you might be getting paid pennies on the dollar. Even if you're writing for free, you probably still won't land the position if your skill level isn't high enough. However, if you're skilled enough to get a writing position, it will most likely skyrocket your writing abilities. By getting on a writing staff, you're going to be working with cream of the crop writers. If you get a paid position, you can bet your life they're not going to let you get away with poor writing, especially if it's a well-established company or publication. Being in this type of environment is how many of the great writers first built up their skills. Another incredibly common piece of advice is read, read, read. In order to become a good writer, it's essential to read other people's writing. You should be able to easily identify between good writing and bad writing. By reading good writing often, you naturally absorb those writers' skills. How does this work? Well, when I was a teacher, I could often identify my students' favorite authors by what they were currently reading. because they would subconsciously intake the style of the author. In university, one of my classes required us to imitate the style of 3 different authors per week using a set subject matter. So we would describe walking to class as if we were Hemingway or Jane Austen or Mark Twain. Now, when you're writing your actual work to be published, you should never be copying other people's styles. However, it's by reading frequently and learning styles of dozen different skilled authors that your writing voice will naturally evolve. Let's talk landing clients as a freelance writer. This is the part of freelance writing that people are usually thinking about when they ask how to become a freelance writer. Landing clients is a skill that you have to develop. You can't depend on clients to fall into your lap. Until you develop the skill of landing clients, your business as a writer will not be sustainable. So what do? First of all, network. Networking is the most fundamental skill of any freelancer or entrepreneur. If you already have a professional network, make sure to let them know that you are starting your freelance writing career. If networking sounds scary to you, it's probably the first thing you should tackle. Find some networking events in your city and go to them. Make connections with people and tell them about the work that you do, or the work that you want to do. Here's a key piece of advice. Don't tell people that you want to be a freelance writer. Tell people that you are a freelance writer and that you are just looking to take on clients right now. If you haven't been able to find any paid work, do a few free pieces for publications. Then you will have an answer to the question of who you have written for in the past. Also, friends and family can help too. If you have friends or family that run successful businesses and need writing work done, there's no shame in working for them. People think that the only way to get started is to reach out to strangers on freelancing platforms, but there are many ways to jump into the world of freelance writing. Your friends and family are a part of your network. Make sure you let them know that you are available. Also, there are the freelancer platforms. If you're a regular reader of Freelancing Labs, you knew this was going to come up. Freelancing platforms are a great way to get your start in any type of freelance writing. We have tons of guides on almost all of the freelancing platforms. The great thing about freelance writing is that it operates in the same way as any other freelancing work. For example, you can take our article on how to make money on Upwork and apply it directly to your freelance writing career. Also, building up client relationships. Client relationships are the foundation of a strong freelancing business. Clients are not only the ones paying you at the end of the day, they have the potential to be great sources for new clients. If you build up a strong relationship with your clients and tell them that you're looking to take on more work, they will be happy to refer you to people in their network. They might even give you a client directly. Don't forget to ask for client feedback. Yes, feedback is actually a part of the client relationship. Clients are going to vary in how comfortable they are with giving feedback. One way to build a stronger relationship with them is by asking for feedback. By doing this early and often, you create a relationship with a client where they will be more comfortable working with you. As you learn each client's needs, you will become increasingly valuable to them. Finally, expand your image of writing. Look, when I dreamed of being a writer as a kid, that meant a novelist, perhaps a newspaper columnist. When people think of what it means to be a writer, they think of Carrie Bradshaw typing away about her love life in a New York City apartment. However, the vast majority of professional writing is not like that. When people ask what kind of writing I do, they almost immediately assume that I write fiction. And in that same vein, when people in university told me I could never make money off of writing, they also probably were specifically thinking of novel writing. When I tell people that I write about investment, finance, entrepreneurship, and freelancing, it's actually a little funny because I can almost see the light bulb go off in their head. Oh yeah, that does sound like it would be profitable. If you're stuck in wanting a romantic writing job, you might never make money. Copywriting, search engine optimization, and listicles aren't romantic, but they are what the modern internet is built on. No one can start your career for you. When people ask me, how can I get started on freelance writing? What they often mean is, can you start my writing career for me? No one is going to do the work of teaching you how to write, teaching you how to find clients, teaching you how to maintain those clients. Even now, I'm not doing this work for you. You found this video and you're watching it. The information is out there, but no one can do the work but you. Here's the truth. If you can't do the research to figure out how to be a freelance writer, you probably can't be one. Research is one of the most fundamental skills of writing. If you can't connect with clients, if you can't successfully pitch yourself as a writer, then you can't be a writer. It's natural to want to subvert the hard work and many hours it takes to make a new career. However, if you don't do the work, you won't have the skills necessary to sustain your business. So get out there, write, read, join writing groups, get feedback on your work, sign up for freelancing platforms, get rejected, then pick yourself back up again, and get out there again. Keep Googling for advice. In fact, keep reading Freelancing Labs and watching our videos. Freelancing Labs is essentially the book on how to get started, and it's all available for free. Go through the information and take the steps suggested. Even if it doesn't work out in the end, at least you can say that you tried.